Welcome back, everybody, to the Giant Slayer TV Teamfight Tactics Fates and a regional qualifiers. Doa here, along with my expert analysis, Keen and Crowan, as we have one game to go. We still could see people fall in and out of the top four. Now, remember, everybody gets prizes, everybody gets tournament points, but there are a lot more for that top four, and the top four players in this tournament get auto-qualified for the next one. So it is a big deal to just not have to worry about that, to know that no matter how your ladder performances or whatever your performance is in like some sub qualifiers, you're still going to get there, right? So right now, that top four is Nantam, Aegon, Kiting His Heart, and Soju, but we still could see this move around, couldn't we?
Yeah, we definitely could. And that top spot is actually super, super important. You get 50 qualifier points and the $2,000 and the direct invite to next qualifier because of that placement there. And if you look at, say, like what you get from second to eighth, it's only a 7-point difference there. You get 38 qualifier points for second, 31 for eighth, but getting 50 is a huge start to the season for all these players. So Nantam in the lead, but it's still within striking distance of, a few of these players with Aegon, Kiting, and Soju as well.
Yeah, for sure. Nantam could secure the overall first, I believe, by getting a third for sure. I'm not quite sure how type works, but looks like a fourth might also secure it because he has a couple of firsts already today. So definitely in a position where he almost just needs the top four to secure the first overall because he's been playing so well. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. If you see Nantam start falling, maybe have a bad seventh or eighth game like he had in the first, then maybe that opens up the field for everybody. So I think that'll be big eyes on like how's Nantam going to do, and then after that, that kind of determines the rest of the dominoes and how they'll fall.
Yeah. I think you are right, where if he does get at least fourth, he guarantees himself the win.
Yeah.
Just
basically.
That's it.
That's right. Well, here we go. Speaking of the man himself, there he is, Nantam, in position to win the whole thing. We'll see if he can get it done in the fifth game here of the tournament. The fifth and final game starts out with a Rod start, which we talked to Aegon yesterday. He was really loving it. So in general, what would you say are the favorite starts right now for items? Rod is popular, obviously. Sword. What do you hear a lot in your circles?
I think Rod for sure is so the way I look at it is I like to take Rod when I am playing the top four. And I in general, if you look at the stats, I don't know if this is true or not, but my belief would be a Rod start is more likely to top four than a sword start, but a sword start is more likely to top one. So it's kind of a balance you have to consider where the sword has higher risk reward type of situation and the rod is more consistent because a lot of the items can flex onto a lot of different comps and it can form a lot of good early game units versus which doesn't quite have that. But this is it's chosen cultists.
I mean, that is like the perfect chosen cultist too. Like if you're gonna get one, you want the Elise. So great start already for Nantam.
You're looking at the top four. This is the one you want. A chosen cultist to start the game. It's been a very good set of games for Nantam. He's gonna be very happy with that.
Honestly, that's just a breath of relief right there. I think if you're Nantam to have some like this direction to open things off with, it just takes a lot of pressure off moving forward. And Nantam might even stick with this cultist, further on into the game. I did actually during the break, I was looking at some of the least flexible players when it comes to even just the games today. Kiting has played 3 cultist games. 2 of those were 9 cultists. One of them was 6 cultists. And then an outlier, Zed Ninja game. Aegon actually has played 3 Ari games, and then 1 6-keeper game. And Kyun is pretty inflexible as well, just 2 Talon and 2 Ash games. So some of our least flexible players, at least for today, but still pulling up some good results for that. Nantam is in first and has been a bit more flexible, though. So maybe that's the key to not being just consistent, but also placing in first place here.
That's a good point. Dude, he hit the pike, too. Very next shop. So there it is. Like the other best cultist to hit to make this happen. Like you get the chosen Elise and then you find a pike. Like you really can't ask for anything better than that.
Such a strong start for him. The only thing that's a little rough is his gold's kind of awkward, but he's immediately gonna slam the rel. He's got a hanging now, which is great.
Winning helps with that.
Good spot. I also noticed, I can't quite tell, is that an Aegon TFT plushie on his bed there in the back?
Looks like it might be, actually.
I think it is, yeah.
I think it is. We heard Aegon give the plug yesterday. Maybe Nantam heard him. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go cop one of these sharks.
I think Aegon just has one of the most elaborate and far-reaching marketing machines in TFT, clearly.
Definitely coming out the gates with it. It's just so smart, and they're so freaking cute.
It's the art of the deal, man.
Just
I
look
wonder if
at
he
it.
listened to that song.
I wonder. He didn't reply to me.
Oh,
I
no.
don't even think he liked the tweet. What a guy.
I mean, if you need to win a tournament, apparently just get the Aegon TFT plushie, and that is the good luck charm you need.
Yeah.
Guardian angel behind you, just sitting on the bed, just chilling, giving you good luck blessings. There's the TF. He's got 4 cultists already.
If that's the
Solid.
good luck charm that you need, I'm sure Aegon has a bunch of them still just waiting to be shipped out. So Aegon is in second place currently. He is within striking distance. If Non-Tom does fall in the bot 4 here, could see an Aegon victory after all.
There
Yeah.
was a time where Chosen Cultist Elise was a guaranteed top 4. I would say the first, maybe second patch of this
Yeah.
set that felt true. I don't think it's
Sure.
quite as true anymore, but it is still, in my opinion, I would say it's probably the best one cost Chosen you can get right now if you're trying to flex into endgame. Some people might say it's like the Anna or Nami if you're looking to play a reroll type style. But definitely for a comp that's looking to level and become, level 8, level 9, then the Chosen Cultist Elise is a very good option.
Yeah. Nami is really only good if you have like the Ludens anyway. And so I think some of those other ones are a little bit more item dependent.
Yeah, this is like either way a very good start. If you were hoping to catch Non-Tom and hoping that he'd have a bad game, this is not what you want to see him open the game.
Oh, all right.
Some
Maybe
interesting
a reason to
options
play the Lysandra. Yeah, that is interesting.
But
here.
definitely,
You probably play the Lysandra over something here, and yeah, I think playing both of these upgrade units
Yeah.
with still keeping the 3 cultist is still really strong. You don't need the 2 assassin for Pike or Diana right now. It's not offering you too much damage. The Pike really is just applying Morellos right now.
and
It
he
makes
still
your Galio like a little bit weaker to take out the TF, but you put in the 2 2-stars, and I think that evens it out pretty well.
Yep. I'm a little surprised he slammed the sword on the vein there, though. 'Cause a lot of
Yeah.
keeping Vayne, so I would have personally liked to see the sword go on to Lysandra instead, which is a unit you're almost certainly going to sell.
Yeah,
Well,
there's potential to keep a Vayne if you want to go Dusk and you don't want to have to, find a Vayne at level 7 or level 8 or something. You just never find it if you're committing to that and trying to run Jin with those sword items.
Yep.
yeah, very true. Very true.
But either way, still a very good spot for him to be in. He's going to have great health, and he's going to continue to maintain this health throughout the early game. So everybody else in this lobby is starting to say, well, I guess we're playing for second or third today because this is a very good opener. You see,
This is Non-Tom's lobby, and the rest of you are just playing in it.
It's a very aggressive level. This is something that a player named Bebe, who was rank 1 in the Korean ladder for a while, was pushed aggressively, like to level till 5 on. So really interesting to see Sax go aggressively and hit level 4 for the
Aegon did it too, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say Aegon as well.
Now. Yeah, and it kind of makes sense because Aegon seems to have either adopted or Sox has adopted some of Aegon's tendencies as well. So both these players doing it does make a lot of sense here. Both wanting that early game win streak, preserving the HP is so important to both those players. So good to see them do that here.
Kind of a game of chicken. And it was one of those situations where you look around the board and you want to preserve your win streak and you say, okay, I need to be able to guy, and so how you do it is you go to 5, and so they ended up both doing it. It ended up forcing each other's hands. Whereas Non-Tom was like, I don't really care. He didn't really scout around to see if anybody did it, but his board was so strong that he wasn't really going to be able to. He didn't have gold to push 5 anyway.
Yeah, actually, we were like exactly pre-leveled with like 0 gold left.
You see that Divine Dazzler chosen on the bench, and like it's not something you really consider now, but like those 3 cost chosens are going to become a lot more relevant after the patch with some of the changes that are coming through. So my brain is already kind of looking at some of that stuff and being like, if this was the next patch, how would I play this? It's kind of fun to think about.
Deluxe is also really strong chosen in the mid game. It's one of these things in this situation. I think you definitely skip over it. You don't want to kill your econ that hard
for this board for sure. Yeah.
But unfortunately, he runs into Sax, who actually I think he beats Sax. It's gonna be close.
Well, yeah, Diana gets one more ult, but the Garen should be able to survive it. Actually, the Nidalee survives it too. It's a Nidalee too.
Yeah, the Hodge healing.
Difference there. Diana just gonna kill it. So Sax is gonna unfortunately take the loss for him, but fortunately for Kiting, he wins.
Yeah, one of the players, Sox, did aggressively level to 5 there and has not kept the win streak going there. A bit unfortunate. I think if that Lux chosen was like a Kindred chosen instead, I'd be tempted to take that. But it being a Lux, it doesn't really guarantee that you're going to win every single round. And with how aggressive this lobby is, there's no guarantee that if it was another 3 cost chosen, that it would guarantee full win streaking to make back up that econ.
Very true. Well, Kiting doing a bit of scouting around. I did see Aegon hit a Zed too, so I'm kind of wondering what he's going for over there. If it was just sort of like a strongest board kind of decision, or if we're maybe going to see another ninja attempt by one of these players.
Channeling the Asian gamer right here.
Yep.
Hey, Kiting did it today in game number 1. That was the one game that he didn't play Cultist. So
this is a really bad stage 2 for Kiting. If you look at his history, it's a loss win loss pattern, which means he hasn't been able to build up any streak even once, which means his econ is really taking a big hit here.
Oh man, it feels so bad when you look up and it's just like a pattern there instead of having one of the streaks, especially when you're going into the neutrals here. It feels bad. His econ maybe isn't as bad as some other players would be. You know, he's been skipping on chosens just to try to get some more econ going there. Finally picked someone with that Silas Brawler though.
Sad. He had a Lysandra 2 right before this too. So, but I guess it's Brawler anyway. So. He's going to end up holding this. Like I said earlier, the Silas chosen, one of the stronger ones to have at this stage in the game. He'll be happy to have it and just have some extra power at least.
Here's a tier. What else does he get?
Let's see. 2 more items, it looks like. Tier, rod, and a bow there. Some interesting items to slam, perhaps. Could still be a Ludens. We'll have to see, though. There's a lot of directions that Kiting could go with this.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of good items.
Locket, maybe.
Yeah.
I think out of all those, probably Locket is the most appealing, just in terms of what is the best item you can build out of those.
If you go
versus the board, you know, but
yeah, I mean, you still have good talent item potential. If you get a sword, you have GA, you get a belt, you get Morello, or you go, just the Ludens.
Oh, okay, all right. Because Silas's mana reaving, for lack of a better term, does that count as crowd control?
I'm actually not sure, and I'm pretty excited to watch it right here.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I don't actually know. I've never seen someone put a Ludens on Silas before, so.
Yeah, might get okay. No, the Garen gets Zephyr here, so Silas is running free.
Oh, it doesn't seem like
no.
Doesn't seem like it. No.
Unfortunate.
But it slaps the unit that's been mana reaved.
I mean,
watch out for
that. It's the extra Ludens damage, so it does turn Silas into a bigger magic damage dealer, I guess. But it definitely doesn't look like it has the same effect as you would see on like a Nami or something.
Definitely not as much as the Nami. Still, the extra damage is not bad.
Yeah.
Can work with the item later on as well. It's not going to be terrible to put on some of those other units. We see Ludens, kind of on Morgana frequently. Maybe Pike as well. We've seen a few times throughout the weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say if we're still talking about like Morgana talent items, that Ludens can still go on Morgana. So it's still a flexible enough item that it's not like it's not going to hurt him to have slammed that.
Yeah.
This is one of the spots that I hate being in the most as a player is you're kind of at the bottom half of the lobby when it comes to health. And your board isn't like awful, but it's also not strong. So you end up losing just barely every fight. You just end up taking 6 health here, 7 health there, 5 health here, and you end up entering wolves with about 60 health from this kind of situation. It always feels really bad.
Definitely does.
Yeah, you might even awkwardly win some of these rounds as well. So then the streak isn't happening either, and it's like, okay, cool. I preserved a bit of HP, but my econ, Kiting at level 6, 20 gold here, can make 30 with selling a couple of these left side bench units, but it's still awkward because you're gonna probably be losing a couple of these other rounds coming up as well.
Yeah, so he just won that one. There's still a great chance he loses this fight because his board's just not that strong. So it's just, again, this win-loss pattern, you just kind of, there's no way out.
I totally agree, and it's one of the more awkward situations, definitely for me to play in as well. So, and it's kind of rough. I mean, Kiting is third place coming into this game as well. Having a start like this is a bit concerning. He is a good enough player to be able to make it work, though. Still just awkward.
Playing a very greedy fortune play. I mean, if it's your last game, you might as well go big or go home. So
yeah.
It's a lot of keepers on that other board, by the way. It was a keeper chosen versus a keeper chosen, I think I saw before we swap back.
All right, so Kiting got lucky and got to face Kyun, who's like turbo weak here. So Kyun also doesn't have that much money. I'm kind of feeling from Kyun was, I believe, in 5th or 6th. He was right on the bubble.
He was in 5th. He has 21 points currently, and so he is very much on the bubble and very much needs to have a good result this game.
Yeah, so he 100% he needs the top 4 basically, or I guess he could just do a little better than the guys above him, but basically I believe he pretty much needs the top 4 to have a fighting chance. And sitting at 49 health going into this carousel is not a good spot to be in.
No. Other interesting thing to think about actually is Boomer and Zapper actually has they've had some underperforming performances through today, but they actually have a chance to get 7th instead of 8th overall on the day if they get exactly first place and New Battle gets exactly 8th place. And that's one more qualifier point and $50 more. So as a competitive player, it must be something like you have to play your outs, right? In that scenario. So I wouldn't be surprised, for that because we do see that first wraith kind of play style from Boomer and Zapper wanting to play super greedy.
True. I ain't turning down $50.
Yeah.
You want to hand that to me? Just I'll take it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Tournament points as well. Well, one more tournament point. That's not a bad thing either. And it's definitely not. It's rough to see a player have a set of results like that. But to make it this far, you're still definitely a great TFT player.
I wonder what fortune streak is at. I believe we've had some issues with his stream, so I'm not sure I'm able to go take a peek at that myself. But I would be curious to see what his fortune loss streak is at because I love seeing the big payout.
Oh yeah. Entertaining to watch.
Mm-hmm. So Soju, meanwhile, just has that Vanguard chosen Hecarim with really great items, and it's very difficult to kill a Hecarim too that has any sort of really defensive items like this.
That horse is Riven cosplay right there, doing
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
good Riven. Boomer and Zapper winning that round actually, and I tuned in briefly, and they were on an 8 loss streak. So they're now out of Fortune jail. Okay, they got a Rod, a Tier, and a Nico's and a little bit of gold. That was their Fortune payout.
That's pretty good.
Nico, if you're cashing out on Fortune, you want one Nico at least, and you're happy as long as you're gonna get a Nico.
True.
Yeah,
at like around 10 or so, probably.
Non-Tom is still hard.
A bit less. I think it was around like 8 maybe ish, but yeah.
Yeah.
Tom's got great items, hard win streaking. Again, this has been a really good set of games from Non-Tom. Really a good mix of luck and also just really playing things properly.
Yeah, it's one thing to hit. It's another thing to capitalize on those hits, right? And he's done a really good job of doing both. The first step is important, but the second step is, as equally important if you want to get first, if you want to win a tournament like this.
I mean, we saw last game, he started off with a double cloak and he still turned it into a first. I mean, that's the type of situation. Like, I know every single player would complain about a double cloak Stark, and Non-Tom just immediately slammed the Dragon Claw and ended up taking it to a first. So definitely making the even in bad situations.
That is shocking now that you bring that up again. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it kind of lapsed in my mind as well there. But you're totally right. I think maybe some players would even be a bit tilted from that, but Non-Tom kept their cool throughout the whole game and did turn into a first from there. So just additionally impressive stuff there.
I was tilted for him just watching it.
True, feel that one. Yeah. So you're looking to go some cultists here?
Yeah, this is
cultists.
It's easy to hit 6 cultists when you roll at this stage, and this is something everybody should keep in mind. Is you play for 6 cultists, and if you happen to hit like a chosen Riven, then you can start considering, well, maybe I don't need to go 6 cultists. I can go 4 Dusk now because I have a good carry. But hitting the Riven's kind of a crapshoot, right? Oh my god!
There it is. Just hit.
Just hit. It's not even chill. He just at 50 gold. He just gets to sit. I can already see his chat just spamming. Just hit.
Ooh, all of these items going into the Evelyn here. That makes me think that he doesn't want to go 9 cultists.
Exactly.
But just play it for the mid game here, which I don't disagree with here. His HP is still really good to fast 9 and maybe even turn this just into a full legendary comp. I think this is the route for Soju that he has to go for a first place.
He has so much gold. He also doesn't necessarily need a first if he's content. Like when you look at Non-Tom and you say, okay, it's so high rolling that the difference between like a third and a fourth in terms of points isn't as drastic as the first place. So if you figure that you can't take first from Non-Tom, then maybe you just settle on a more standard, hey, I'm going to go for top 4 here. And hitting top 4 would be a lot safer. You roll at like 8 probably, but
sure. I guess conversely as well, Soju is one of those players who's probably, he's going to qualify from ladder no matter what, just because he's such a good ladder player. So maybe, going all out for that first place is on Soju's mind. You say, okay, maybe Non-Tom has a good start, but maybe they misplay like they did earlier and they go bottom 4 and greeting out could be first place because the risk from getting 12 bar points for first might offset the, the I guess disappointment would be from getting, 2 less qualifier points going forward.
Fair enough. Yeah. Doing some last minute swaps. Always good to just swap your board back and forth. Just keep people guessing. Keep them having to scout.
Sox has 7 or 5 talents. Without His items are awkward though. It looks like he wants to find a Morgana so he can move the Jinx items off, put those on Morgana, move the GA to Talon.
I was thinking so, yeah.
Well, bench as well to make IE. So Sax is in a pretty solid position item wise. Depending on whether he also has a lot of gold left, so it looks like he just needs to hit the right units, and you can transition to a pretty good Talon comp here. So still a few strong people in this lobby to contest Soju, even though he's rolling pretty high here.
Kyun, meanwhile, down at 15 HP, on the verge of being eliminated. He hit an Aphelios too and a Yuumi too just now. So
wonder what he's playing Hunters with an Ash Chosen.
Sitting on his gold. I'm guessing he's gonna go 8 after the carousel, and I can hear him say "F it" first or 8th, and just going for gold here. And he needs to hit everything after the carousel because his board did not look very strong. So I'm guessing he's just gonna take another loss here, go down to 1 life, and needs a miracle run from that point. But
yeah, you kind of have to, I think, to be able to top 4. Kyun's a couple points behind, sitting in 5th going into this game. So I think that is one of those times where it's correct to have that kind of play style.
I would say, however, though, that if you're going to have the type of play style, I don't know if the comp he was running, which I believe was a Hunter variant, is the type of comp that is going to be able to make that kind of drastic that you need.
Yeah.
Hunter has so many things that can go wrong for it. The Ash can get pulled by an Aatrox, a Kayn can jump on it, a Talon can kill it. There's so many things that can just cause you to lose a fight. But it is fortunate he won that fight there. 15 health might grant you 2 lives instead of just 1. So he has a bit of wiggle room still.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, but I guess sometimes you just got to play what you hit. So maybe there's just not an option to play anything else at that point. Just has to kind of pray, even though there's a comp where so many things can go wrong. You kind of just have to take it and roll with it at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Soju looking like he's going to go with the Runins for the Jhin, which is not a bad pickup. But we're going to go check out Kyun's board as his game and tournament may be over very soon. He does have the possibility to make an Elderwood spat there, I suppose, which is going to help out his Ash if he decides to go with it. But like we said, it looks like it's more that Spirit Hunter composition.
Yeah, if he hits an Ezreal, he could make the Elderwood spat, but without that, it's I mean, you have a Nunu in, but even still,
that's why he's got the Nunu in there, is so that he could do Elderwood.
You have a chosen Ash, you may as well do it. It helps from Talon jumps, as I mentioned earlier. So you definitely prefer the Ezreal over the Nunu, but you can't find it.
Yeah, he looks pretty strong, honestly, though.
He's level 8 with a chosen Ash, so he's got to feel pretty decent about his board. But like I said, it's just one bad fight, and that'll do it.
Oh, this was kind of close. I mean, yeah.
He's strong, but he's not strong enough. This is the type of board that you're like, hey, if I got 55 health at this point, I'd feel really good about it, especially because I'm at 8 already. But at 15 health, this board is not strong enough to just roll all the way in. If he can hit a 2 Warwick, hit the 2 Shen in the front line, that's how he's going to stabilize.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're kind of forced to roll every turn here? He certainly seems to be that way. All right, there's Lux too. That's something.
There's just like finding a single Ezreal just upgrades his board so much. Getting a Warwick in over the level 1 Kindred is also a pretty big upgrade. There's just a lot of little things, but it's a really scary position to be in for sure. This Ash is gonna struggle quite a bit without a little beefier in the front line. It's just there's not enough front line right now.
Yeah, I think
he takes 8th too. It's not possible for him to take top 4. Yeah, because he's currently 5th in the standings right now. So he needs to get better than 8th if he wants to have a chance to get that auto qualification.
Yeah, so Talon immediately pops the GA, but Talon dies for it. So this is, I think, going to be fine because the Yuumi ends up healing the Ash up a little bit, and Jinx is just going to be very good. I'm wondering if Sox is stuck in Fortune Jail, and that's why he still has the... I'm going to go take a peek at that, actually. So that would make the most sense why he still has that Jinx. And I do remember him running a Sejuani as well.
Oh, poor Boomer and Zapper down at 8th now as Kyun starts to move up a little bit. That would be his 4th, 8th if he does come through. Just, again, a really rough day for Boomer and Zapper, so we'll see if he can somehow pull it back together, but it's not looking good.
Sox is not in Fortune Jail. It looks like he'll probably just sell the Jinx here, so...
Okay.
Oh yeah, it looks like the Jinx just holding items for like a Talon and the Morgana there. It has a GA, Morello's, and a blue buff.
See what Kyun gets out of these items here.
So Nunu too. Okay, frontline.
Yeah.
So
hey, All right.
Out. But he might keep it Kindred because he has Yumi in.
Well,
yeah.
Well, do you really need Spirit with Ash? I don't know.
I mean, no, but it's a little bit of like okay, you get a little bit of extra right there.
Every little bit helps, I guess. We're gonna check out Mismatch Sox' board for now. He's got 4 Enlightened in there, able to move those items over to a Morgana finally.
Been looking for that for so long.
Yeah, no third talent item though. That's good. I mean, no IE is gonna hurt.
Well, you just bamboozle Shen,
right? Or in
Yeah.
the Shen, yeah.
so it's very strong. Like the front line's good here for him at least. The Shen's gonna be very difficult to kill. This should give a lot of time for Talon to do his little jump stabs. You know.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Jump.
decent. It might win some rounds in this stage, but it's gonna struggle moving forward. It's still even close right now though. That Warwick from
I was playing a really Warwick
Right.
comp here, frontline
Yeah.
Warwick, but he doesn't have a death blade on it, and that's pretty much a difference. If that has a death blade, it might have enough damage to cut through at the end, but without the death blade, I think it's a little weak.
Could be. Boomer and Zapper out in 8th, by the way. Kiting is Hard has hit level 8 himself. Kyun is on a win streak and moving up. So Kyun making a final run here to try to get to that top 4.
Kiting, I believe, was one of the top 4 players, so taking a 7th here would be a real bad hit for him.
Yeah, he's 25 points right now. So definitely still on the bubble. Kyun only 4 points behind him at 21.
Yeah, the 7th might be enough to knock him out, so he's definitely got to hope for a big turnaround here.
Yep.
Aegon, top players, looks like he's pretty stable with the Chosen Ash, with a really interesting Sedge in the back line, the Zephyr back there.
Dusk, Kindred too. That Kindred between the Death Cap and the Dusk Spatula are going to be doing a lot of damage. If it lives, it
lock
won't.
as well for a little bit of AP. Lock it in the backline when an Aegon staple.
Oh wow,
that's not good enough though.
That Talon
just doesn't deal well enough with the Talon there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a nice unit.
Yeah, if can fit in over the Lee Sin, yeah, I would say this is a bit better than the Lee Sin there.
Certainly comp. Oh, he's looking for Morg too, which would be a really huge upgrade because the Morg has some good items that hitting it will just be so strong.
Yeah, he's sitting on a few pairs right now with the Aurelia, Lux, and the Morgana. Just needs to hit one of them.
Yeah, I think he's got to give up on this Talon though.
Yeah, agreed.
What was his chosen unit again? Oh, it was the Talon.
Yeah,
Talon. Like, and this is very different from Non-Tom's situation where Non-Tom was winning at the top of the lobby. Sox needs every round right now, and I think he needs to not greed too hard on that Talon.
Yeah,
Sox
you might be right.
Basically secure his placement.
See if he can beat Non-Tom here.
It's a much higher placement than top 4 because I forgot he struggled the last few games.
Yeah, no, definitely. Sox is sitting kind of rough right now at 18 points going into this game, so kind of needs a top 3 at least placement. This Kane.
Oh, the Kane just straight up styled on him.
Yep, he tried.
Kiting is out. Unfortunately, that would not going to be a good outlook for him. Kyun is really playing his comeback music right now, though.
Yeah.
So that means Kiting is Hard finishes with a total of 27 points. So very much in reach for a lot of players to overtake here.
That's really, really important, actually, for the majority of the lobby that Kiting drops in 7th here. It leaves opportunity for not only Sox to move forward, but for players like Kyun, depending on how long he's able to last. You know, can he go that 1st or 8th, or is he going to fall somewhere in the middle?
Right.
Sox got the Morg, yeah.
Okay, so now Sox, at this point, and your win condition is you roll again at 6-1 and you pray you hit Talon 3. That is how Sox can win this game.
Yep.
Either way, hitting the Morgana too is a big step towards potential top 4 at least.
Yeah, so it definitely stabilizes him at this point in the game, and especially you really need the Morg too to deal with some of the cultist players. And he hasn't really run into the cultist draws yet, so there's a good chance he starts playing one of the cultist players. If not this turn, then the next turn. So here's good, standing on his last legs, but with really good items on Chosen Ash here. Let's see if it's enough to take him. Oh, Talon randomly walked up to the Ash there.
Yeah.
Good Ezreal alt, but Talon's still in the back here being quite annoying. Said GA popped.
GA pop, Morgana finishes it.
Yep. Looks that way.
Kyun 1 HP.
One or two.
Two,
yeah. Same difference at this point, though. Yeah.
Really? It doesn't,
Finds a Warwick too, so he's still in it. But Sox looking pretty good. Sox, as I think you mentioned earlier, Keen, needs better than a good finish. He needs a pretty great finish, being at 18 points right now.
So we know if he's at 18 and Kiting finished with 27, a first would put him right over Kiting. So if he wins this lobby, that basically will be enough. But he's still quite ways off from being able to do that. Yeah. Or 3 talons off from being able to do that is the other way of looking at it.
Yeah, lobby HP is getting close right now. Soju at only 42. Everyone kind of feeling the hurt right now.
Soju's level 9 with 30 gold though, so probably. But the talon just popped the Jin immediately. So
that Evelyn even as well, still doing work from Soju there.
Yeah, and it looks like Shen trying to carry as much as he can with that talon taken out, and that's going to be some damage put into Sox here. Soju manages to win that. The cultists prevail.
That basically puts Sox on 1 life now, so it's going to be a bit rough.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically could survive 2 rounds, needs to kill everything but 2 units left going to stage 6.
Right.
It looks like Kyun needs a 3rd in order to be above Sox here. So 2 health here. The lobby's real close. You got everybody kind of sitting on 2 lives from non-Tom down. Soju's probably going to win this lobby, or at least finish high up because he's level 9 with so much gold, whereas everybody else seems to be donkey rolling at this point. So it's really going to come down to that middle of the pack there with non-Tom, Nubal, Aegon, and you kind of see who's going to get what roles are you like, who hasn't fought Soju recently, because Soju's probably going to play the Grim Reaper in this situation.
Yeah, that's a huge hit, by the way, finding that Yone, and there's another talon. He's only 2 away.
2 off. We also saw Nantam go straight to 9 on this turn, so Nantam should also be feeling a lot stronger. Nantam was one of the players who opened with the cultist, and being able to go 9 now.
Still running it. Yeah, only on Kane 1 though.
This Yone hit's big though for Sox here. That should be. Oh no, I might just ult the solo Azir thing over here.
Ooh, yeah, good bait by Nantam.
Yeah, you're right.
But okay, it's gonna kill it actually. I think before the LT comes off. Yeah, barely.
It comes over. So it pops the Kane GA. That was really, really clutch timing there to be able to get that off. That was really close to being a completely useless ult.
Yeah, it's big.
So now the Kane is can be one shot by the Talon.
Yeah, so that actually maybe made the difference.
Oh,
yeah. Either way, I think it kills it.
Oh, so close! He did it. Yeah,
that did make the difference. Wow.
Out, unfortunately, finishing in 6 will mean he's not going to be able to collect enough points to leapfrog Kiting there, which means Sox, I believe, is the one that needs to make that run here.
Seems that way, yeah. Sox, one who's still alive. Looks like Kyun finishes with 24 points, so that's pretty much going to guarantee him to be outside of top 4, since Soju is at 23 points and going to get enough to pass him, I would think. I'm no math major, but it doesn't look like Kyun's finishing top 4.
Should come down to Sox and Kiting at this point. If Sox takes the first, he overcomes Kiting and leapfrogs his way into the top of the board. Otherwise, I believe our top 4 is gonna take. It looks like Soju, Aegon, and Nantam are probably locked at this point.
Yeah.
Let's see if Sox big run. It's 2 talons away from doing it. So
Nubal still in it. Could definitely use a big game. He had 1/3 earlier, but other than that, it's been a rough day.
Yeah,
it looks like despite the fact that the Shen is like 1,000,000 feet tall, he's still going to get knocked out anyway in 5th. So his second best result of the day, but overall a rough day 3 for him.
If you are Kiting, you are pinging the talons on the bench right now so that other people see it and start holding the talon. Like he's rooting against Sox
Time
here.
to grief.
It's definitely a rough spot to be at.
Yeah. But, Soju, though, looking to claim his second first place of the day, perhaps.
Yeah.
A Zillion. On the Zillion 2 could be enough, too, here. Okay.
Yeah. Israel 2 set 2 with chosen set there for Soju. Massive.
Yeah. That's really scary.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
GA popped is dead. So Sox is
going to be. Gosh. That is not even close. Holy cow. Soju just annihilates him.
Too strong. That was all those items on the Evelyn were transferred over to the set. Soju just way too strong there. So Sox going out.
Nantam?
Nantam might actually fall and give Sox a 3rd here.
Yeah.
Yeah, minus 10 HP. So Nantam 4th. Sox is going to beat 3rd here. Wonder if that makes a difference.
5. I'm not sure if that's enough. Either way, Non-Tom securing 4th should be enough.
I believe that's exactly what he needed to stay ahead of everybody else, no matter what.
Maybe, yeah. I
That'll
think even
put
if
him
Aegon
at
gets, yeah.
36. I think that'll put him at. Yeah.
Mm.
We'll keep an eye on it.
Soju's way too strong right now.
Nobody's gonna beat Soju in this lobby, I don't think.
I mean, this
Yeah.
Chosen set has some good items on them. And now you just chill. Level 2 Ezreal here. We got a 2 Lilia in as well. Just not much you can do.
Well, that's what we talked about earlier, right? Where Soju had the strong enough early game to transition this into a level 9 legendary comp, and that's pretty much what he's doing right now on the back of the Dusk synergy.
Just hitting that Chosen Evelyn, which is way too much.
Yep.
Good Zephyr from Aegon there, though. Gets the set.
Great Zephyr. But the Azir positioning means that the Aatrox pulls in the soldiers, which is completely useless.
Set's going to just ult everybody.
Set,
Yep.
and
Come on and slam. And welcome to the jam.
Okay, he ulted the wrong way, but it doesn't matter.
Yep. That's true. Doesn't matter. Aegon's out anyway. And that's Soju getting a second win of the day and claiming a lot of points, going up to 33 in the end with that win. Not enough for first, but enough to move up a little bit. An exciting finish for the day, seeing the chosen set. And now we just wait for all the results to be tabulated in a moment, see who makes that top 4. Remember, the big thing about hitting the top 4 is getting that auto qualifier to the next tournament. And we'll find out who makes the cut in just a few.
Yeah, either way, some great days of TFT we've had. The competition has been at that peak performance. I love to see it. I love seeing people, even though they didn't have quite as good a performance today as the rest of the tournament, Nubal and Boomer and Zapper, lesser known names, still making it to the top 8 is huge for those players. I'd love to see them back in qualifiers in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it was a game of inches, right? Sox barely missing the cut, and if you go back to that Warlord game, if he naturaled a sword to get the Gunblade on the Katarina, he also ended up on 8 Cats and on 2 Canes that game. Just a couple little things swinging the other way that might have been enough to push Sox into the top 4. So just tiny little things here or there throughout the day that ends up making a huge difference when it comes to the point standings.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, still a very cool weekend of TFT, and I think we'll talk about kind of all of our takeaways a little bit later. But I think one of the big things I'll bring up right away is I feel like we did see a good amount of diversity in terms of comps winning a range of just going for the 4-1 roll down, playing a really strong early mid game, going for a fast 9. We saw the Ninja comps working out. Let's take a look though at our final standings at the end of the tournament. Here are the results. It's going to be Non-Tom taking first place, winning the tournament. Aegon second place for him. Soju with a third. And then Kiting Zara sneaking in there with a sneaky 4th place. Sox just on the outside looking in along with Kyun and Nubal and Boomer and Zapper a little bit farther down the pack, but still quite the accomplishment to make it to the top 8 to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. Rough day for Boomer and Zapper collecting 4 8s there, but nothing else. The rest of the lobby will thank him for that, and I'm sure he'll take this as a good learning lesson for next time. Still, should be proud of being able to make it to this stage. And in the middle, just so close there. Just overall, really good competition, and hopefully, I'm sure most of these names back by the second qualifier as well.
I would not be surprised. Let's take a look at the winning composition from Soju in that last game. We saw a lot of this really rested on the back of the chosen set too, and just great defensive items for set as well. You're just going to ensure that when he comes back from push-ups, if he even needs to, he's going to wreck everybody.
Yeah, just such a strong comp. This is very similar to, if you remember Star Guardian in the last set. The way you would some of the early game is you would use like a Lily or a Nico 2 and like maybe a Syndra 2 as transition units. You can go fast 9 with it and transition fully into a legendary comp in set 5. It's very similar to finding Cultist early this game, being able to push 9 and then flexing a bunch of these units. You saw Soju was level 9 with 30 gold right after the stage 5 carousel, all thanks to finding the chosen Evelyn immediately on 4-1, which is something we've been saying all weekend, is you can roll for 6 cultists and just hit the 6 cultists on 4-1. That's usually enough to stabilize you throughout that stage and potentially let you pivot into a level 9 with some legendaries, which is what Soju did. Really phenomenal transition. This is what you should be doing.
Yeah, very true.
Definitely. Like the set items there with like all those would go on Riven. A lot of players would keep them on the Riven and say, okay, I'm just gonna go 6 dusk, but Soju identifying legendaries are going to be stronger. It's gonna be my higher spike, my higher skill ceiling for my composition there. Some good identification of what separates a good player from a great player there.
I think that's one of the hardest things to kind of wrap your head around too, when you're kind of making that transition from, knowing a good amount about TFT to like starting to be, pretty experienced, a much better player where you know how to make those early and mid game transitions, move items from one to the other as we look at the scoreboard one more time. But it's really giving up those extremely strong late game units for stronger late game units that is sometimes a very difficult decision to make. And it's tough to gauge sometimes, when the right decision to do that is and just exactly how to do that. So watching games like this is super useful.
The really tough call in that situation, I think, is when we saw him level 9 with 30 gold, and you have the chosen cultist Evelyn. I think you're part of you is wondering, okay, maybe if I natural the Zillion, I'll just play 9 cultists. But if I don't natural the Zillion, then I'm gonna sell the Evelyn and just play legendaries instead. So there's like two kind of routes you can go. I'm personally a fan of always going legendaries if you have the money to do it, which Soju
Oh
did.
yeah.
So really cool to see that there are definitely multiple paths you can do.
Right. Well, here's our prize pool as well. So just to reiterate, it is non-Tom that takes first place, gets the $2,000 first place prize. Aegon coming in second, Soju third, and then Kiting is hard coming in fourth, I believe, in the end. But yeah, congrats to non-Tom. Huge win to win the first big tournament of set 4 here in TFT. You can see along with that cash comes 50 tournament points, which is a lot. 12 above second place. So you still get a good amount of points just for getting here today, to getting to that top 8. But that first place 50 points, that's going to go a long way in terms of getting into some of those big events later in the year, later in the set, because that's going to be next year, actually.
Yeah, definitely. It's a long road for these players, but it all starts here. And so good start to the season, I suppose we'll call it, from non-Tom.
Yep, that's right. And we're working on getting non-Tom into the call to do a little bit of a post-tournament interview to get some of his thoughts. But until then, Keen, have you been inspired watching this weekend? Like, I feel like when I watch this stuff, it just makes me want to go play more. But like, what do you feel like you've been inspired to do the most here?
Oh man, what I've learned if I want to climb is just go play cultist, and that seems to be the best route. I think
Not
I really,
ninjas?
need to stop throwing myself into fortune jail, and I think maybe my LP will start climbing a little back up. But if I roll one time catch, fortune's right there. So
Yeah. That's the thing. It's tough, right? But again, like Fortune Tom Kench, man, he's a trap because you don't know the other fortunes you need are all at least 2 costs. Sometimes it's really hard to hit those. How about you, Crowan? Like, what are you inspired to go and take to the ladder?
Honestly, similar. You can't scoff at the results, and we saw the cultist results and just how strong those compositions were, how
Yeah.
strong the mid game is, lets you go legendaries. Not only is it set you up for a top 4, but you can also have the power spike at the end to get first places as well. The Ari was looking, kind of good after day 1, but it's just not as consistent. This consistent thing was the cultist, of course.
Yep, that's right. So we're still trying to get non-Tom into the call. We'll see if we're able to do that or not. Since TFT is a great game in that you don't need like the world's best PC, the world's best internet connection. So sometimes it's a little bit tricky. But here we go. I think we got him in the call now. Non-Tom, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Hey, congratulations on your win today. Huge win, getting a lot of tournament points, getting some cash. After playing through a marathon session of many, many TFT games over the weekend, how does it feel to come out on top as a champion?
I am the youngest person in the lobby, so it feel pretty happy when I win the people like older than me.
That's awesome. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think it's an advantage? Do you think you're able to think quicker with your youth?
With my what?
Your youth, your age, do you feel like it lets you think faster than some of these older players?
No, I just do what I think is correct. If yes, I just in this tournament I just do what I think is correct. I not overall or like waste my money or waste my econ. I just do whatever I think is correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Crone, do you have any questions?
Yeah, we've seen some interesting compositions be run, a lot of similar stuff as well. Of course, the Talon and the Ash, but gotta ask Meta and your approach to it, non-Tom. You had a really great set of TFT games. You got 2 first place victories today. Kind of what is your approach to this meta? What compositions do you favor, and did it kind of play out as you expected? I mean, obviously you got a first, and you came in here looking for one, but yeah, just your overall meta thoughts or impressions here.
My thought in this meta is like, Contest is very good. If you hit early Contest chosen, Talon is a really good comp. If you can hit at 4-1, or if you can have Nico to guarantee your Talon 2. Also, Talon need GA and IE to work. And the third comp I think is the best is like Keeper, but I don't know how to play Keeper.
Okay.
Maybe,
I don't think a lot
for
of people
next
do.
time. Yeah.
Keen, any questions for the champion?
First, congratulations. We've talked a lot about all of us Vietnamese players at the top of the ladder always kind of running into each other, and I see y'all talking. So congratulations to you. I'm kind of curious. After
Thank
game,
you so much.
you had I think a kind of unfortunate ending to the game in your Diana game. Were you tilted at all with how that one ended? Like, were you able to reset going into game 2, or are you still pretty happy with taking the second in the Diana game?
Oh, at that time, I'm not move my Diana into the right side, because if I move to the right side, Diana have to kill like the whole Soju team to get into the chin. You know what I mean, right? And if I put it in the left side, I got stunned by Cassiopeia. I don't know what I can do better. Maybe I just put it in the right side, because at that time I thought my Diana gonna one shot the Cassiopeia, but she didn't.
Yeah, that's a tough situation for sure. Yeah. Well,
And
looking forward, so you've got all these tournament points. You're well on your way to making it to some of the bigger events in set 4. Do you see yourself as the set 4 champion eventually? Do you think you can win the whole thing later on?
yes, I can. I think I can win if the meta is good. I think I can win 100%.
All right. Great. Well, before we let you go, do you have any final shout outs you'd like to make?
Oh, I shout out to Delicious Milk. He rated me like 3 days ago. I appreciate it a lot. He's like my favorite streamer from set 1.
From set 1, not from the other sets?
The legit sad guy, Delicious Milk, Chichi.
Milk. That's milk. Set 2, set 3, set 4 milk. A little rough. We're into it.
That's awesome. All right. Well, congratulations again, Non-Tom, champion of the tournament this weekend. We had a lot of fun watching your games, and looking forward to watching you in the future. Thanks for coming by.
Oh, thanks so much. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Cool. Have a great weekend. Well, guys, that was Non-Tom, the champion, here this weekend at the Giant Slayer TFT Fates Regional NA Championship. A little shout out to Delicious Milk at the end. Delicious Milk, definitely one of my favorite streamers to watch as far as like learning goes. He's definitely one of the better players to keep an eye on. And yeah, helping out our champion there. How about that? All the way back to set 1.
It would be so fun to get Milk on like an official broadcast, and you just listen to him cast. The other comment would just be sad. Like a lot of just very sad gameplay commentary from him. He's a really funny streamer, a very phenomenal player who's unfortunately been stuck in the rudder for this set lately. So maybe we'll see a return of Milk soon.
Hey, it happens. The only thing I'm sad about right now, though, is that the show is over. The games are done. But before we close it out, I'll ask real quick, Keen, what are your final thoughts this weekend?
I am grateful to both of you for casting. Those of you who've never casted before and are curious what it's like, I just want to say it's so much easier when you have somebody like Crone and like Doa to kind of facilitate the conversation. Doa's, of course, been casting for a long, long time now. I think anybody who's ever been in this chair has heard of him. So I just specifically want to give a shout out to Doa for making it so easy for somebody who has pretty much no experience to step in and feel comfortable on air. It's not an easy gig, despite what Doa may do to make you think otherwise.
You're too kind. Crowan, final thoughts for the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, like, thank you to Keen and, to Doe as well being alongside. It's a pleasure to cast and present some great TFT action alongside you both here. It's been a wonderful weekend of a lot of games, getting to crown a champion non-Tom. We heard it just a bit ago in the interview, that confidence, like, yeah, I think I can win this whole set, provided the meta is good. So still a little bit of like, if, ands, or buts, but no, still some great play that we've seen, and, getting to present it to you all is just, yeah, it's phenomenal. So yeah, thank you all. And love this weekend. It's really, really good.
Absolutely. Set 4 is still, I think feels still my favorite set so far that we've had, and I played since set 1. It's been an awesome weekend. One final shout out to juke.gg for being such a great sponsor. Again, check out their site. Great place to go find all the TFT streams you want from this weekend, and also just find a lot of great esports stuff as well. They're an awesome sponsor, an awesome supporter of TFT. And thanks to my co-casters, Crone and Keen. You've been awesome. This has been a great weekend of team fight tactics. Props to Giant Slayer and the crew. I say behind me, I like point like they're back there, but they're not. They're actually all at their own houses because of social distancing, of course. But still, nonetheless, putting on a great show for you this weekend. Thanks to our players for showing us some awesome games, to Riot for making a great game. And we're looking forward to a lot more team fight tactics esports throughout the end of this year and many years to come. So on that note, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.